So, Charles, a couple of years ago in the summertime, we were on an expedition, and just for fun, we tried the Mindsight. You put on the blindfold,
Yeah.
and we were totally surprised because you got one color after the other. In fact, you were blown away yourself.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to happen. It was going to work. I just did because, I love you, Rob. And, if you believe in it, there's got to be some truth to it. So I went in there not knowing, really thinking it wasn't really going to work. But tell me, I was very surprised. It actually worked. I actually saw the colors. As soon as I got the first one, I knew what to look for. And when those colors came up, I was right. So it blew my mind. Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah. Now, if anybody wants to see it, it's number 58 on this channel, video 58. And of course, your name is Charles Lamoureux. The reason for this interview is you had quite an exceptional thing happen in association with your mom's passing
Yeah.
recently. And, I'm sorry that your mom passed. It was, you went through a lot there, but you called me and you told me that you had a bit of an extraordinary experience. Can you relate to that? Relate me to that? What happened?
Yeah. Thanks, Rob. And yeah, I didn't know who to talk to really. I mean, I told my experience to some of my family members and they kind of ignored me and didn't really believe me. They thought I was just stressed out. And you know me in the UFO field, when I see something, I'm a critical thinker. It really happened. This is not a mundane object that's flying around. So this is very similar in terms of what happened to me. So I won't go into all the details, but my mother had a stroke and she was very sick over 8 to 9 month period. And I was seeing her every 2 to 3 weeks for almost a month period of time. I would stay by her bedside for up to 12 hours, sometimes 24 hours a day, because not a lot of my family members were around to do that and to be by her bedside. So I was flying to Winnipeg, at least 15, 20 times in that period of time, 8, 9 months. So it came to the last 3 days. I think she had a large heart attack or something, and she went into a coma. And she started having, really short breaths, like one breath every minute. And I thought she was coming to her end in a few hours or in a few minutes. So I stayed by her side, but she didn't. She was in a coma. She still, kept on breathing 1 to 2 breaths a minute. So I stayed there for 24 hours and I was getting really tired. So my sister would do 12 hours on and 12 hours off. So she went 3 days like this, completely in a coma, no stimulus whatsoever. And then one day was my turn to come in for the 12-hour period. And I was at home and I woke up, I was a little late. And I called my sister, I'm coming. I'm a little late, but something fazed me at that time that today's the day. I mean, she's going to pass like now. So really, it just struck me really quickly. So I called Uber. I was already an hour late to take over for my sister. So I called Uber, got into the taxi, and I said, okay, hurry up. We're 20 minutes away. Can you make it in 15? And the guy said, no problem whatsoever. So I was in the back seat. I closed my eyes. And when I closed my eyes, all of a sudden I saw everything pink or mauve. It was gorgeous. It was bright. It was all one color and it was soft. It was like a polished color. And the strange thing is I thought it was because I was overtired, but I know when I'm overtired, I don't see this and see everything outside as the color pink and purple. So when I shut my eyes, I can see the driver and I can see the windshield as he was taking off and the buildings going by, but everything was a color pinkish mauve color. And on top of that was really relaxing. So I was going, this is not happening. So I opened up my eyes and I'd look and I go, okay. So I close my eyes again. Okay, here comes the car. Then I would look, there's the car. So I knew I was seeing the outside with my eyes closed. And that I did think of you at that time, Rob, honestly. I was thinking of calling my sister to tell her what was happening. It was just wild. But I wanted to be in that moment because it was so relaxing. So I closed my eyes and for the whole 15 minutes there, all what I would see is the beautiful color. It's a pinkish mauve. It's really hard to explain the color. But I would see the buildings go by, the trees, the cars zipping by. And every 2 or 3 minutes, I would look to make sure, am I really seeing this in real time? And I was. There goes another car. So I keep my eyes closed to go, because I know St. Vital Shopping Center is going to be coming up soon. Oh, there it is on the left-hand side. I could see it in a beautiful purple out about a mile away. And so I just sat there in the back seat, and I wasn't anxious anymore. I was just letting it go. And I know I was getting close to the home because I could see it with my eyes closed. So as soon as we were getting to the driveway, I jumped out of the car and I ran inside to go see my mother. Of course, it was during COVID time. I had to wash my hands and put on the face mask, and I ran to her room and I said, "Hey, Mom, I'm here." And as soon as I said that, when I walked into the room, and this was just wild. Remember, she had not moved once for 3 days straight. She moved her head towards me, towards my voice. And when I came and approached her bed and I was over her, and she moved her head up like she was looking at me, but her eyes were closed. And right at that point, she took a deep breath, she shed a tear, and I saw her carotid artery pulsating. It stopped beating. So right there, within a 10-second period, she had passed away. After I said, "Hey, Mom, I'm here." But she had moved her neck, she moved her head towards me. And I knew right there at that time there was a connection. I knew there was a connection, but I was upset because I didn't know how to take it, because does that mean that for those 3 days, was she suffering all that time? But if she was in that mode where I was in when I was seeing everything pinkish purple, it was so relaxing. If she was there for 3 days in that environment, that I knew she wasn't suffering at all. She was totally calm, relaxed, and waiting for the time where she was going to go. But Rob, you helped me with this, and I think, it's true, that she was waiting for me to get to the hospital. And was I connecting with her in her space where she was? I don't know. I mean, yes, I would think so, because whatever was happening to me was very surreal. And to have my mom pass away 10 seconds when I arrived, and she moved her neck towards me and she looked up towards my voice with her eyes closed. So she was probably seeing me in the same realm I was seeing the streets and the buildings. So
yeah, it's no coincidence.
yeah,
I mean,
it was really moving.
and I've heard many stories about loved ones waiting to pass until that last family member arrives. And you were definitely connected to something. And I just want to say something here too. I do the blindfold seeing, and I'm teaching different people, and I do it myself. And I've had on occasion where I've seen purple, like a mauvey purple color, and it's my purple swirls. And I know when I get that, I look through that and I can see whatever the person is holding on the screen in front of me. So you kind of took that on steroids when you were in the Uber, because you were kind of having that mauvey color, and you literally were seeing blindfolded. Your Mindsight was operating 100%, Charles, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
We don't know how you accessed it, but you did.
It was
Was it the
amazing.
stress?
It was amazing. All I can say, it was as clear as day, but in that color.
Okay.
It's hard to explain unless you've actually experienced it, and you have, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But the level that you experienced, it was incredible. Now, you had a taste of it, a couple summers ago when we did the blindfold seeing. And so what you experienced in the car was just that times 1,000. I mean, you connected right to your Mindsight, and you were connected for what, about 20 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Every time you closed your eyes, you could see, and you could see things going by, and then you opened your eyes and checked, and it was 1-to-1. It was exactly what you were seeing with your eyes closed. So that's a fantastic experience.
And then the best part is that it was not only that I was able to see everything around me, but it was so relaxing. I don't know how to explain it. It was like, I don't know. It was, this is great. That kind of feeling. And I know my mom's passing. I felt that, but I was so calm. It's like, and as soon as I opened up my eyes, that calmness left me. My anxiety came back, and I knew I had to get to see my mom right away. But she knew as soon as I walked into that doorway and I mentioned her name, her neck moved towards me right away. She didn't even hesitate, and she couldn't move for 3 days, and she passed with seconds.
Yeah. So you were connected, and you were feeling relaxed. You were connected to your mom on a different level. And we don't know what she was seeing. She may have been experiencing a similar thing. We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But all I know, it was something very special that you got to experience with your mom in her passing.
So I know for that period of time we connected so much, and I loved every moment of it.
Yeah. And you've got other family members that weren't able to spend the amount of time that you did,
Not even close.
and you got rewarded. Your mom, she waited to pass until you were there, and then within seconds of you arriving, she passed. So, very few people get to experience that with a loved one, especially, say, a parent. And, we hear about these stories, but very few people get to actually experience what you did, and especially the half an hour beforehand, also leading up to it, with the
Yeah,
serene calmness and the feelings that you were having. It was kind of like you were being prepared in a way. And then to have the event where you watched your mom pass, and the way everything transpired, you got to have full closure now on this,
absolutely.
and know absolutely that your mom is in a good spot, and you can now go on with your life. And there's no guilt, there's no feelings of remorse of any kind.
Nothing.
You
No.
spent the time with your mom, and
Yeah.
you had a super, super special experience at the very end. Very few people get that.
Yeah, and I miss her a lot, but I know after that experience, I have no concern. I mean, I'm not worried about her or worried about did she have a lot of pain before she passed or anything like that. I think she had such a great movement forward from where she was. Even though she was in a coma, I knew she wasn't suffering in that moment. Only we saw that, the external part, because I experienced something, and I'm certain that she saw what I saw. We're
Yeah.
connected that way. So if she did, then she was in a really superb area.
Yeah. And, thank you so much for sharing this story with me,
Oh,
because,
I appreciate it.
I'm doing the blindfold seeing and the blindfold teaching. And for you to have this spontaneous seeing is incredible for me to hear the story, and to be able to share it to other people that are following this work and this channel, that you got spontaneous seeing. But people can attain this through different other means, through different exercises, and just sheer due diligence. It's easy for young people to do. For as we get older, it gets a lot harder. You had it happen spontaneously.
And all that I can say to the people viewing this as well is that it's real. What Rob does, it's real. I experienced it, and what I experienced with my mom was real. There's no doubt about it. It wasn't stress. It wasn't anything of that sort whatsoever. For 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, it was consistent. And I double checked, just like I do with UFOs, is this really happening? And it was. So for me, it was a validation now that I know now when we pass, there's more, a lot more. So
Fantastic. Thank
that's
you
all I
very
can say.
much, Charles. Thank you
No,
very
you're
much.
welcome. Appreciate it.